Hey YouTube, the 5 Destroyer here with the new deck profile. Yeah, this is the deck that I took to locals in Statesboro. And it went 3-2. Top 10, didn't actually top 8, which is a bummer, but win some, lose some. This is a pretty much, I haven't seen this deck out. If there is a deck like this out, then props to you, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm the first one that made this deck. It's Flamvell Ally of Justice. Yeah, isn't that interesting? It's basically an Ally of Justice deck with the Flamvell engine. And like I said, it went 3-2 at locals this weekend, and it did a pretty good job. Yeah, so let's get started. I run 3 Flamvell Firedogs, 1900 beat stick. When he hits the board and he kills a monster, special summon a fire monster with 200 or less defense other than himself. Pretty good with getting swarms out. I really only got him when he came sometimes when he was called. Other than that, he was okay, I guess. I run 2 Flamvell Magicians. I don't exactly have 3. Get the glare out of here. I don't exactly have 3, but 2 works for this deck so far. Especially because I only run 3 tuners in here. But this deck isn't about tuners right now. When I get it upgraded, I'm going to be running a little bit more than just the ones I have. Anyways, when he comes out, if there's an Ally of Justice, he becomes an 18 hitter. And he's one of the main reasons why I decided to build this deck. Yeah, Magician, run with him. He gets 8 stars and stuff like that. Flamvell Archer, the only other tuner in this deck. Archer, basically, while he's out, I contribute a Pyro-type monster and have all Flamvells I control gain 800 attack until end phase. Pretty good if I'm running, if I'm going up against somebody stronger and I need a little bit more meat on my side to get through defenses. Pretty cool, I gotta say. Nice effect with the fire. All Flamvell monsters have that nice effect. Flamvell Poun, the Sangan of this deck. Poun. I don't know how you exactly say this deck. This guy's name. Anyways, when he gets killed, I can add a monster with 200 or 200 defense from my deck to my hand. So basically, you run over him, I get a Firedog, I get Core Destroyer, I get Archer, I get tuners. It's fun, really. I run, now onto the Ally of Justice stuff, I run 2 Ally of Justice Garadholgs. He really doesn't get his effect because I kind of nixed out the DNA transplants you need for a deck like this. But when his effect kicks in, when he battles a light attribute monster, he gains 200 attack during damage step, which isn't really that much. It could go with, it could run over Lila if she were in attack mode, unless, of course, somebody's going to drop an Honest. It can run over anything with less than 18, unless they're packing Honest, like I said, but really, he's just 4 stars, and he really combos well, surprisingly, with Ally of Justice Unlimiter. Yeah, he's a pretty good card. Well, for a standard deck. For this deck. Next card, Ally of Justice Sorceror. Everybody, the people I went up against when I played him, thought he actually was a searching card, but no, this is not a searcher. He's 1400, he's got 1400, 100, level 3, which is not exactly the best of stats. But, I can toss a card, once per turn to flip a face-down defense position monster that my opponent controls. into attack position, and their effects are not activated, which is amazing. I mean, people rely on Ryko, Spy, Hamster. I actually know somebody who who uses Man-Eater Bug, and this would really, really screw them up. So, yeah, Sorceror, when you get him out and when he comes out right, he rules. Ally of Justice Unlimiter. Basically, he's Chimera Tech over Dragon fodder. He's not really there for a whole lot, but he can't really do a whole lot. I mean, he's a level 2, 600, 200. What he is he can double the attack of another Ally of Justice if I sack him. So if you have something like, if you're staring down something like, I don't know, a Laquari, and it's your turn, and you have out one of your Ally of Justices out, you can sack him, or summon him, sack him, and have him get rid of Laquari, in case they don't have something to tag it out. But yeah, other than that, he's Chimera Tech fodder. Yeah, he's pretty good with the plays, I'd guess. Unless, of course, I had a machine conversion factory, then he'd be pretty easy. Not machine conversion factory, machine assembly line. That's what I'm thinking about. But Ally of Justice Unlimiter, he's decent for this deck. Gotta work with what you got. And finally, rounding out the Ally of Justice portion of the deck is Ally of Justice Core Destroyer, aka Catastor's little brother. Basically, if he attacks or is attacked by a light attribute monster, he kills it instantly. I'd be running 2 if I had DNA transplant. I don't know why I keep doing that. But if I had two DNA transplants, Core Destroyer would be in the deck. And like I said, Catastor kills darks, he kills lights. Not too much to say about his attack and defense stat, though. He's only a 12-2. Now, the non-related monsters. Flamvell ally-related monsters. Cyber Dragon. Bottomless targets. Chimera Tech fodder. What else is there to say? He's good with Chaos Sorcerer. He's basically a pretty good level 5 monster. I don't tribute for him. Who hardly ever does. I mean, he's Cyber Dragon. He's a pimp like that. Jinzo, dark target, stops traps. He's pretty decent, but he gets run over a lot. From what I see, or at least from how I play with him, he gets run over a lot. He's another reason why I don't run DNA Transplant, because DNA Transplant's a continuous trap. Go to Wikia to figure out all the stuff with it. Jinzo's pretty decent, I'd say, for right now. I think I might just get rid of him for a Caius or something. I don't know. He's also Chimera Tech fodder. Drillroid, one of the star players of this deck. When he hits a defense monster like a Hoplamos, he just says no, and he breaks through the defense. 16/16 level 4. Drillroid's pretty kick-ass. He's what gave me a game for... Well, he's a key player in what gave me a game against Gladiator Beasts. I swear, this little guy has a lot of potential. I recommend him at least 1 copy in machine decks. Now one of the 2 boss monsters... 3. One of the boss monsters of the deck. Dad. Everybody knows what Dad should do. He's good for plays with Chimera Tech. You go Future Fusion, Cyber Dragon, 3 of your Ally of Justice, or Jinzo, or one of them, and then drop Dad, and just pop stuff, and yeah, I think, or you can just go Overload Fusion, and if you have a lot of machines in the graveyard that you don't need that are dark, you can just overload for for Chimera Tech, wipe your field if something's not working, if things aren't working right, drop Dad, and go to town with it if your opponent doesn't play Bottomless. I mean, he sets up for pretty big plays. Chaos Sorcerer. Everybody should know what Chaos Sorcerer does. Mine's an Invasion of Chaos one. He's not limited edition, though. Remove a dark and a light to special summon, in case you didn't know. And then remove a card from play. A monster from play, face up. Other than that, you want to know what's his stats? Go to Wikia, like I said. Otherwise, I can't help you there. Finally, rounding out the monster lineup, and the other flip effect monster that Sorcerer likes to hit. Ryko, Lightsworn Hunter. He gets stuff into the grave. He works, surprisingly. I will admit, I was wrong to be mean to the Lightsworn cards. Ryko, Ryko, you're fucking amazing. I swear, you saved me. You saved my ass a little bit. Flip him up, mill 3, pop a card. That's what he does. His attack and defense stats really don't matter. Spell cards now. Everybody loves spells. At least, I don't know a person who doesn't unless they run trap heavy. Anyways, we start off with the most broken spell card ever. Rekindling. Basically activate it, and if you have an empty monster card zone, Rekindling is a godsend. You go Rekindling and special summon as many fire monsters with 200 or less defense. With 200 defense, but at the end phase they get removed from play. Like I said, godsend. Seriously, gets you into synchro potential like you wouldn't believe. I run 2 because I don't have that many. I only run 7 Flamvells and I need to run more. But Rekindling is good at 2. I'm still working on this deck. Now we're getting into staples. Smashing. Everybody should know what smashing does. Smashing smashes. Just go to Wikia if you don't know anything. MST. No Storm. Run 2 MST. Well, at least I run 2 MST. Other than that, staple. Allure of Darkness. Everybody should know what Allure does. If you don't know what Allure does, then go to Wikia. Otherwise, ask a friend, go to Wikia, do whatever. Just Allure rocks. I would recommend Allure if you had if you had at least 5 or more targets. Otherwise, don't run it. But it's a staple in dark decks. Monster Reborn, aka Revive the Dead, but 4Kids doesn't like that. Anyways, Monster Reborn. Everybody knows what Monster Reborn does. It's Yu-Gi-Oh! 101. Book of Moon, staple. Staple card, I shouldn't explain that. Overload Fusion. Staple for machines, but basically he sets up... Overload is like a setup for a Chimera Tech play after you've done Future Fusion. Overload is pretty good for also cleaning your graveyard. Future Fusion. Should know what that does. Staple. While Future Fusion sets up for dad plays, dad Chimera Tech plays, yeah, like I said, staple. Limiter removal. Go back and see Allure of Justice Unlimiter, because they're basically the same concept. And now we move on to trap cards. And starting off the lineup, staples. Bottomless Trapple. Staple. What more do you need to know? Next, D-Prison. Staple. Roar. Staple. Call of the Haunted. Staple. Force. Staple. Judgment. Staple. I don't know how many times Solemn saved my ass, but yeah, that's the main, that's at least the main deck. Yeah. Sorry guys, but I'm gonna have to cut it here. If you want to know my extra deck, just send me I'll have a list in the description of all the of every card I use. Rate, subscribe. This is the 5 Destroyer signing off. Have a good day.